Hey y'all, yo, listen. I hope y'all press that button, that follow button for Tapin Podcast by TTBE. I forget to actually tell y'all the links to follow, but I'm back here again, and y'all know that. But it's so crazy because I just got my life coach license, and I'm super, super excited. There has been so many good things happening for me. I can't even explain it, like I'm just starting to realize like, wow, like I'm just keep stacking and stacking and stacking. But you know how that happened? Get into this podcast. You know how that happened? Because I started to be less accessible, limited accessibility to me. How does that make any sense, right? So you think in life, right, you have to entertain all these people, right? You have family, you got friends, you got loved ones, you got spouses, you have all these people that's accessible to your energy that you can't even focus on yourself. You can't even focus on getting qualified for the things that you want and you say you are. There's a lot of people out here that's faking a lot of things with their life. And I realized that because I had to sit back to myself and realize that I'm saying I'm this and I'm that and I'm this and I'm that and I don't got nothing to show for it. So I said, let me pull back and have limited access to me, and let me focus on building myself and building my credentials as a speaker, as, an author, as a podcaster, as a life coach. Shall I continue? And I just got featured in a third magazine, so I'm really excited about the things that's going on, because when I came to Atlanta and I left everything in New York and I left my whole life, I said that I needed to build myself. I have selective hearing, selective people that I allow in my space. And people don't really like when you say you have selective hearing and selective this and that, but it works for me. My mind has to declutter, my space has to declutter, everything has to be clear in order for me to get to the next level. And if I sit here and I let people have access to me left and right, 24/7, my phone ringing, I have to put it on do not disturb, then obviously I'm still accessible, right? I'm still available. And I had to become less available. I had to literally get off the grid, because no one even knows, technically, honestly, where I'm at. And no one ever knows where I'm at, period. But for the most part, it worked for me. And on a serious note, you have to declutter your life. You have to declutter your mind, and you have to have selective hearing. You have to have selective movements. You have to be very selective on the things that you do 24 hours a day. Every little thing that you do needs to be selective. It has to be a decision that you made that is not going to pull from you. And people don't make it make sense, but I'm trying to find a way for you to understand that in order for you to keep your energy, in order for you to not feel tired all the time, not feel distracted, not feel lost, not feel confused, is if you start cutting off that energy that's pulling from you. So if you sit and you write in your notebook and you say, these people are in my life, these people require this, these people require that, then you'll start to realize what's left of you at the end of the day. What's left for you? Who do you have for yourself? All you have at that point is go to sleep, go to work, and eat, and do that all over again. When you realize that you cut off access to you, you'll start to see that you have time just shows up. You like, oh my God, it's only 2 o'clock. You will start to realize how slow time starts to move, because that's your opportunity to become and do the things that you want to do. Work on that one small thing, that one thing that you keep saying that you're going to do. But no, stop making excuses. Stop making excuses because you have a child. Stop making excuses because you have responsibility of an elderly parent. Stop making excuses because you're tired. Stop making excuses because you work 2 jobs. Stop making excuses. You have to structure your life and schedule your life accordingly, and so that you can have a small portion of time for yourself. No one should come before you. No one. No one should come before you. In order for you to be healthy for other people, you have to put yourself first. You have to be the number one entity in your life so that you can fill up and you can pour into cups. You cannot do that when you're drained. You cannot do that when you're exhausted. You cannot do that when you're helping everybody 24/7. Stop helping everybody that calls you for help. You can say no. It's okay. Yes, they might hate you. Yes, they might talk bad about you. Yes, they might feel like you turned your back on them. You have to worry about yourself. You have to take a moment for you, because I know you're tired. I know you're exhausted. And it's only one way for you to get out of that rut. You have to realize what's around you. You have to realize what's draining you. You have to realize who's draining you, because most of the time it's another person that's draining you. Because guess what? A person can talk, a person can speak, a person can touch, a person could disrupt your life. Most of the time it's another entity that's draining you, because everything else is a choice that you made. Everything else is a decision that you made. So you have to realize who is around you that's making you feel tired. Why don't you have energy? Why don't you have energy to follow your dreams? Why don't you have energy to actually get up and do the things you want? Why don't you have energy to put aside everybody else's needs and put yours first? Why don't you? So you have to figure that out. And I'm just here to just be confirmation, enlightenment. Maybe you came across this podcast because it needed to fall right into your lap. You needed something for you to hear. It's time to make changes. And me becoming a life coach, I haven't even exercised my license yet. I haven't really figured out what I want to do as far as being someone's life coach. At the same time, I'm still learning in life. I find that interesting. Like, how you a life coach, but you still trying to figure out life yourself. But it's exciting because I get to kind of like give guidance to, people that were once in my position, that wanted to start something, that wanted to start a business, that wanted to, become a version of themselves. So maybe I can attach that, but I'm growing and I'm not scared to grow and achieve. There's no waiting. There's no pause. Just continue. So Tapin Podcast by TTBE, Miss Myesha Banks is here to tell you it is your time to focus on yourself. It is your time to become the version of yourself. And if you want to be my first client, as me being your life coach, then you definitely can write under this podcast. All the emails and links will be below. But I am so ready, y'all. I am so ready to conquer the world, and I'm happy y'all are part of this journey. And thank you for following me. Thank you for downloading all of the podcasts on all of the streams. I'm not going to lie, Apple Podcasts is definitely the top rank right now. So all of my Apple heads, I love Apple. Thanks for tapping into the podcast on Apple Podcasts, and continue to download it. Get them numbers and them ratings to go up. Spread the word, share with your friends and family. Thank you so much for just being a part of this incorporation. I love every single listener. I love every single viewer, and I love every single follower.